From video clips and reports from individuals to leaked images from NASA, nearly every piece of evidence to prove alien existence has been waved aside. But now the U.S. Congress is finally revealing intricate details about various eyewitness encounters with alien civilizations in the United States. Why is the Congress doing this now? And who are the eyewitnesses to testify? Will this solve the mystery of aliens living among us? Join us in this video as we explore why the U.S. Congress finally showed recovered non-human aliens from crash sites. The mystery of aliens and outer world intelligent beings didn't start in our 21st century or with the United States Congress. From the dawn of time, many scrolls, myths, and legends have suggested that humanity has had contact with aliens time and again. The existence of several unexplainable structures, like Stonehenges and the pyramids, has also been a source of controversy, with many wondering whether these structures were built by otherworldly beings. Apart from these, there are more direct clues and evidence of alien sightings, like the 15th century painting called the Madonna with Saint Giovannino. This painting has been nicknamed the UFO painting because behind the portrait of the Virgin Mary is what appears to be a UFO hovering over the air while a man and his dog stare at it from down below. Seeing it dates back to the 15th century makes you wonder, have aliens been living among us? This isn't the only ancient proof of alien activity though. Several other paintings and scrolls in India give a similar message as the one depicted in this painting. Plus, archaeologists have always found duparts over the last few centuries. Duparts are prehistoric objects found all over the world that do not fit with their determined age or time. For instance, in 1991, some tiny coal-shaped artifacts were found near a riverbank in Russia at a depth of about 40 feet. They seemed very complex and sophisticated, like something we could do with our technology. But geological dating showed that these objects were about 20,000 to 300,000 years old. To make things even more suspicious, the objects were made with a material that closely resembles typical components made with nanotechnology. All the objects were manufactured, so it begged the question, how did humans have the technical knowledge and tools to build such gadgets 100,000 years ago? The only logical explanation is that they were made by an advanced civilization that may be out of this world. But alien reports are not just recorded in scrolls and artifacts. There are many modern-day sightings of UFOs, especially in America. Recently in Las Vegas, police officers were faced with a 911 emergency. Some locals had reportedly sighted green aliens in their neighborhood. One of the officers even admitted to seeing something that looked like a shooting star land in the distance. And a few locals there claimed they saw some weird-looking green creatures about 8 to 9 feet tall. You see, for decades, Americans have encountered UAPs, or unidentified aerial phenomena. From New Mexico to Florida, several locals have had first-hand encounters with what they believe to be aliens. But most times, these events get covered or swept aside by the government, which is why there is hardly any concrete proof or footage of aliens in public space. These proofs exist only that the government keeps the documents classified. The Congress shared that one poll revealed at about 68% of Americans believed that the government was hiding information about UAPs from them. Another one revealed that Americans were generally unhappy with the way the government handled reports of UFO sightings. Even when UFO eyewitness reports come from credible sources like doctors, scientists, and civil servants, the government would still give it the silent treatment. While giving his speech, Member of Congress Tim Burchett admitted that they had faced many roadblocks from the higher powers in their attempt to uncover the truth about UFOs. He also admitted that the situation had been disturbing the United States for a long time because several people had met him to share their experiences with UFOs, some of them congressmen like himself, and most of all, he himself was a living witness to the existence of aliens and UFOs. One group of people that have encountered UAPs most frequently are pilots. For decades, pilots have reported seeing strange things and objects in the sky, but for fear of losing their jobs, these eyewitnesses don't push further to inform the public about what they saw. For instance, a pilot named Gordon Cooper, who flew advanced aircraft like the Mercury 9 and the Gemini 5, reported how he saw an entire colony of UFOs on a particular trip. This happened in 1951. He saw several UFOs of different sizes flying over Europe in the direction of east to west. They were very organized and also appeared to be in fighter formation. Cooper had another encounter with UFOs in 1963, about 10 years after the initial incident. On this encounter, He was flying solo when he spotted some strange green glowing object flying towards his aircraft. The strange flying object was even picked up on the radar. Cooper managed to get out of the way, but he hasn't forgotten the incident nor the one of 1951. Back then, Cooper would always report to superiors that these beings were visiting our planet from outer space, but nothing was ever done about it. All his case is just like that of several other pilots and space personnel. Even the famous Neil Armstrong reportedly found aliens during his Apollo mission to the moon with his partner Edwin Buzz Aldrin. Rumors have it that during that mission, Armstrong sent a secret message to NASA, which said, "You wouldn't believe it, there are other spacecraft out here lined up on the far side of the crater's edge." Armstrong never owned up to these claims, neither did he deny them. This has been the typical routine with UFO sightings. Some get discredited, and others that seem legit will be withheld. And this is why the US Congress in 2023 embarked on a public non-profit hearing to address the issue of UAPs. They also intend to give pilots a platform to express themselves and tell the world what unexplainable things they've seen in their careers. The Congress took this move to help affected pilots, civil servants, and citizens, and it wasn't facilitated by the US government. In fact, the former Director of National Intelligence, John Radcliffe, once admitted during an interview with CNN that the U.S. government knows more about aliens and UFOs than they're letting the public know of. He said, and I quote, "There are a lot more sightings that have not been made public, and so, people have been left in the dark for far too long." This is the issue the Congress aimed to address, to bring to light all the hidden facts about aliens so far and to call in eyewitnesses to back these claims. Before the witnesses were allowed to speak at the hearing, they were asked to swear, which they did solemnly. The first witness called up by Congress was Lieutenant Ryan Graves, a former U.S. Navy F-18 pilot and current Executive Director of Americans for Safe Aerospace. Mr. Graves, after giving the necessary salutations, admitted to the hearing that he wasn't just speaking for himself, but for more than 30 commercial air personnel and military veterans who have shared their unique encounters with him. He further stated that these sightings are not even rare anymore, as military aircrew and even commercial pilots encounter them frequently. And so, it makes him concerned, as these men typically risk their lives every time they encounter these UAPs. Also, the way the government discredits these eyewitness reports gives cause for concern. He even stated that the government employs excessive classification of information that would have been crucial to enlighten the public about aliens and strange, unexplainable aerial phenomena. Giving his own experience, Graves explained that what he encountered was an advanced UAP. It happened in 2014, when Graves was still an F-18 Foxtrot pilot in the Navy. He had been stationed at the Virginia Beach, and after his team had finished upgrades on the jet, he started detecting strange objects from the radar. The signal was so controversial that he thought it was an error, but it wasn't. It turned out to be a UAP. The flying object appeared to be a dark gray cube inside a clear sphere. It was about 5 to 15 feet in diameter and came very close to the aircraft, about 50 feet. Graves reported that their commander quickly called the squadron to return to base, but then that was it. There was no mention of the incident, and no one was allowed to report such sightings. According to Graves, these sightings became more frequent, and superiors often briefed pilots on the risks of encountering UAPs during flights. These events are what prompted Graves to form the Americans for Safe Aerospace. The organization acts as a safe place for UAP eyewitnesses to share their encounters. Most of the reported encounters come from veteran pilots, and most of them see these UFOs in low Earth orbit or high altitudes of 40,000 feet. The second witness was David Grush, a former senior intelligence officer with the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. Grush admitted he had been a part of the UAP task force and a very active whistleblower. He admitted that he had received several reports from multiple members of the federal intelligence community that the government was operating in secrecy regarding UAPs. He also revealed how several esteemed civil servants had presented him with information concerning UAPs, with many of them having photographs and official documentation to back their claims.